There we go. All right. Get that angle down a little bit. Grab the laptop A. And folks, we are so back for a second time. Gonna pause that video. We're so back, boys. So back for the second straight night. Upcoming stream? What do you mean upcoming? I really just played myself with an ad. Hey, at least it's a baseball-themed ad. So that's a plus. Yeah, that's right, boys. We've hit the big times. Bali Sports is advertising on my YouTube page. I mean, they're not giving me the money directly, but, you know, by proxy. That... Is the camera angle good? Can I fix it anymore? Or does that look fine? Okay, need us begin. No, like, the game yesterday, and the game yesterday sucked. Like, that was bad vibes all around. Yeah, okay, I was making sure the volume works. Aren't you actively in the process of moving? Or at least moving things? I'm not complaining, but, like, how are you here? Astros had a 316 expected batting average in that loss yesterday. 330, actually. So bad that my voice went up to a different octave. I want to get the numbers. What was Fromber's FIP from that game? Because, like, I know it wasn't good. 630 FIP. That's not good. Expected ERA of 8.7. 8.7. Juan Soto is simply our father. And there's no other way to phrase that. Like, it's bad. It is real bad. Also, why on this Astros broadcast are we currently showing two people talking about the upcoming Dodgers game? Like, why are we doing this? Is that... What is your avatar, sir? Okay. Okay, I thought that was a very different, television person. Because I just see this tiny little snippet of your profile picture. I'm talking to Fish Eyeful, by the way. I saw, like, a very tiny little bit of it, and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know if this say... Also, shout-outs to the Apple broadcast. I'm going to wait till more people get in. Do you guys want me to do more of, like, an actual play-by-play-esque stream? Because it's Apple, so I don't know how many people got the free trial or had saved their free trial for this. Yeah, Apple TV sucks. Heather is at the game, which is, like... You don't have to deal with the Apple broadcast, which is a plus for you. Also, you get to see Christian Javier pitch. I yearn for the day. Yeah, I do yearn for the day. I'm like, wait, who have I seen pitch? The pitchers I've watched with my own eyes was Cole, McCullers, and I went over to watch that game specifically for McCullers. And the fact that the Astros happened to play around him was just cool. I've seen Cole, McCullers, Garcia, Urquidy, and France. Trying to think of it. I would like to see. I would really like to see Javier pitch. I'd really like to see Verlander pitch at some point. Like, dude, that has got to. I need to. I really hope that they have Verlander going at some point over in the Tampa series this year, like when they're in the Trop. Don't say that. Don't say that they're going to issue... Listen, I have a lot more trust in Javier than I have trust in Fromber. And I know a lot of people might flame me for that, but, like, come on now. Oh my god, they're using OPS as a statistic. Look, you know what? Point for the Apple broadcast. You know what? Point for them. Okay, so what you just saw in real time there is my complete lack of mathematic knowledge, as I, for a second, was just like, huh? No, Benny, it's great to have you back. It's about time. It was greatly disappointing that you were not here yesterday. Although not for yourself, I would assume, because holy god, that game sucked. It was awful. It was just a no good, no fun game. And, like, it was so hard to make the video for last night because I couldn't just, and I didn't feel like I wanted to, right? I definitely didn't want to go, like, panic-stricken in one game. That's insane. But also, like, following the video, I don't think I said anything incorrect. Because I think all the things that I said were definitely valid. But, like, man, maybe I could have ripped them a little bit more. Like, that was a really bad way to start the season. And following the fact that the last time we watched them play was losing 4 games at home in a single playoff series for only the second time, pardon me, in baseball history that had happened, and the other time was you. Like, I maybe could have went a little harder, but also I just, like, I can't get up yet, you know? It's one game, and, like, it's the first game of the season. So I'm definitely still, like, very acclimating to it. And that's going to take a hot minute to, like, really get into stride with the season. I realize now that when I said... What am I looking for? Listen, I said it in the video yesterday. Or not... No, I didn't say it in the video. No, I didn't say it in the video. What I wanted... Genuine question. Because you bring up the Rockies, right? I understand that there are a lot of bad teams. But there are a lot of bad teams that we hear about. Like, we hear about the Royals being bad, and at least they do some things. And we hear about the Athletics being bad, but at least they do some things. And, like, we hear about... Sorry, I was so distracted by the Andy Pettitte thing. I'll get to that, because I have to get to that. Like, we heard about the Cubs being bad when they were bad for that hot minute. Like, we hear about bad teams being bad. There is no more irrelevant franchise than the Colorado Rockies. And, like, if you're a Rockies fan, not that there are any, sorry to those 9 people. They could genuinely just not play a game. And I honest to God, if they just didn't play, who would notice? Like, do you think if for some reason the Rockies just decided, and it wasn't the days of Twitter, right? We didn't have social media. If it was just like you have to consciously go on the internet and look up standings, or look up records, or look up a player on the Rockies, like, how long would it take for the normal Yankee fan to realize, like, oh, the Rockies haven't played any games in that hypothetical situation? It'd be years! Like, you think anyone in the New York Yankee fandom has given a thought about the Colorado Rockies in a decade? No. Like, the only reason I remember the Rockies exist is because they ruined the coolest Astros aesthetic game of all time, which was when they played in the snow and the Rockies swept them in a little 2-game series like to start 2021 for reference, it was super weird. They're just they are they're just there. And we give a lot of flack to the bad teams in small markets. Like the A's get a lot of flack right now, and it's deserved. And the Royals get a lot of it. But like at least the A's are, at least there's purpose, right? The Royals were trying to tank, and they're soon starting to rebuild. And like the A's were trying to be so garbage that they were out of Oakland. The Rockies are just there. They just exist. Like they do just kinda sit there. Anyway. I'll like it. Also, he's pregnant, guys. Sorry, I have very strong thoughts about the Rockies, because, like, holy God. And I love Chris Bryant, and the fact that he's going to waste away the final years of relevance in his career in Colorado in front of, like, 9 people depresses me. I'm surprised when the Rockies don't get beat up. Incredible. I've had enough with the Astros losing at home and losing currently. Dude, it's bad. And Apple TV is garbage. I don't care. Also, and don't get me wrong, I've tried them on. I've not bought them because I don't have that money. But, like, I've seen and, like, felt the AirPod Pros. And they're super neat. Like, yeah, they sound really good. Those are the dopiest looking headphones on the market. And the reporters trying to make them look cool is comical. Like, yeah, this is style. No, you have 2 toasters strapped to the side of your head. Like, they look like a bit from Spaceballs. And you can't tell me I'm wrong. Dude, I would give the Rockies back to Montreal. It's the least that Colorado could do for Canada. Like, they took Canada's hockey team, and then they plopped it there. And granted, Montreal and Quebec are not the same thing. Wait. You're forgetting about one very, very important person. Montreal's in Quebec. It's Canada. It doesn't count, all right? Okay, but like Quebec City, wherever the Nordiques played. You know, that's the area that I'm referring to. Like, they stole the Nordiques from Quebec. The least that they can do is give them the Rockies. That's not a good trade for Quebec. Like, to lose the Avalanche / Quebec Nordiques and exchange get the Rockies, that's a bad trade. But at least you get something. Todd Helton and Carlos Gomez are the only good players. No, you're forgetting the one. I forget his name. I feel really bad that I forget his name. Foolish baseball video. Holy crap. Which Javier will we see today? We're going to see the good one. We're going to see coffee on his shirt Javier. Please don't make me look like an idiot. All right, Quebec City. You told me about the lore dump. I do have a lore dump. You're not wrong there. Love on the Apple Broadcast pregame money line as they're plunged into a current scandal. Major League Baseball, their most marketable star with gambling. Good job, guys. How could this have happened? Larry Walker. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. All right. The last time they were relevant was about 2017 or 2007. They were like kind of there in 2018. Like they made a playoff spot at Nolan Arenado, but that was it. Like that was it. Anyway, the lore dump. So yeah, this goes in the book, and this is important for it. I told this yesterday. So for those of you who didn't know the slight bit of background knowledge, that was a really nice pitch by Christian Javier, just catching a little piece of the zone. Evens the count at 2 apiece, by the way. So I had a very nice car. I loved the car very dearly. It was a Mustang, and it was my sweet little baby. I adored that. And then, about a week, that was a very bad call, but thank you, Mr. Blue Umpire. Gleyber Torres has very good reason to be upset about that. That was way out of the zone, and it wasn't even like it was a weird thing that could have tricked him. That was just a ball. So that's unfortunate. Good frame job by Mr. Yainer Diaz, but like that's not a good pitch. Anyway, so I had that car and I loved it dearly, and then a week ago Monday, I got into a fun little accident and it was totaled. And so now I've gone from that to a handy dandy 1999 Astro van. That looks like, you know what, Whitehay? Yep. Oh no, the camera quality is insane. I will give them that. The Astro fan and the Astro van. So I named it. Yeah, no, this is the important part. So I named it after star catcher / DH World Series champion Evan Gattis, and so I named the van Evan for Mr. Gattis because it looks like if Gattis got his wish to be a van. Not that I think that is an actual wish in his wish, but if it was. The fact that you're now driving an Astro van is proof that God has a sense of... I hate that. It's so good. I need to get an Astro sticker for it. I might need to... I kind of want to get a name tag for it that just says Evan. But it's one of the best jokes I've ever made. And I am not above saying that. I wish the Rockies could have more success. Rocktober is such an awesome tagline. No, Rocktober is such a cool slogan. Like, it's such a good name. What's the other... There's a hockey team that has... Smashville. But, like, the Nashville Predators are just a good hockey team. They're really good right now. They've won, like... 16 of 18 games. They're cooking right now. Like, Smashville is an awesome name. Rocktober is a real close second. I like both of those a lot. Oh, I will be having a good Easter. This is surely in the lore. I'm gonna be the bunny tomorrow morning. That's a thing that I'm doing. You can toss that in the book. Strikes out Aaron Judge. Not too shabby from Christian Javier. Javi kind of just owns the Yankees. Like, statistically, he has always done well against the Yankees, if I'm not mistaken. I'll find that really quickly. Because, like, last year I know he had the no-hitter against the Yanks. At least partially a no-hitter. He went 6 innings in that game. And then didn't he have another game against them where he went, God, I want to say like 6, 7 innings? New York Yankees. Pitched in 5 games against the Yankees. I'm going to have to scroll down to game level statistics so I can actually tell you. So in 5 games against the New York Yankees, he has a K per 9 of 11.6. A 2.45 ERA. And 33 strikeouts in 25 innings. That's redonkulous. And among teams that like you can actually say that he's pitched against, so a handful of starts. The Yankees have one of the highest K rates. So teams that he started more than 3 games against, It's the third. He's pitched 11 times against the Angels and has a 2.79 ERA with a 14K percent. Jeez. 75 Ks in 48 innings against the Angels. That's ridiculous. He's pitched 3 starts, 6 total games against the Orioles. Has a .99 ERA with a 12.3 K rate or K percent, K per 9. And then against the Yankees in 5 games and 4 starts, 25 and 2/3 innings, 9 walks, 33 strikeouts, and a 2.45. That's ridiculous, man. Like, and there's a pop-up, Alex Bregman under it, and Javier gets through a 1-2-3 first inning with a pair of strikeouts. Nothing too shabby, my guy. Like, that's how they cook. This is your chance to dress as Junction Jack. Okay, who actually liked... Alex, have you ever... That thing is not of this earth. Junction Jack is one of the most horrifying mascots I've ever seen in my life. That's a $300 million play by Alex Bregman right there. Scott Boras actively calling Dana Brown. Orbit is not of this earth, technically speaking. Okay, but like, Orbit is actually... Listen, I gotta level with everybody. Like, mascots kind of just... They're there. I don't know. Like, the Jets don't have a mascot. The Rangers don't have a mascot. The Astros obviously have Orbit. But, like, I don't know. I was never... Rogers is their Don't set me down this road. I don't think I was ever, like, young enough and with a team with a fun enough mascot. Also because I wasn't at the games. Probably has something to do with it. I just don't think I ever, like, mentally was able to get into mascots. They're just like, okay, it's there. I don't know, man. Like, I think teams have cool, like, characters. Like, I liked the Ray for the Rays. Not like Raymond, but like the Ray on their hat. On the ones that actually have them. Fireman Ed is their mascot. Okay, but like Fireman Ed is not even a mascot. He's just a deranged lunatic that goes to all the games. Which you have to be to do the second part. You have to be the first part of that sentence to be the second, or to do the second part of that sentence. Which is why Fireman Ed has kind of become that mascot. Which, you know... About to send you the wildest piece of Astro lore ever. Okay, here we go. About to cook. Still beautiful to think about all the lore books started by the thick chat named it. That was Decky Boy. So that was my nephew that started the lore book. He started Thick Chat. And he was here yesterday. He's not here today. I am deeply sad. Like little bubs running about watching the Astros. He's quite the hockey guy. But, you know, he'll get in baseball. I think what's funny, and not in a serious way, I want to emphasize that. I'm not that kind of person, but just like jokingly having conversations with both my grandparents, or both my grandpas, and everyone in my family about like, all right, what's he going to be? He going to be a left-handed reliever? He going to be a left-handed shot for a defenseman, for a hockey team? What's he going to be? What's little Decky Boy? Altuve had 17 home runs last year? Really? Did he? Like, I didn't think he played enough games to do that. Altuve rips one down the line. That's going to be extra bases for Altuve. Takes a weird hop. And he is going to get a stand-up double over to second base. The Astros will lead off base runner over to second base. Not too shabby for Jose Altuve. Oh, no. Orbit is canonically a murderer. What? What? Okay, that's a rabbit hole that we're gonna go down. Fireman Ed is a zoo animal that doesn't need to be in his exhibit but chooses to be on display. Bro. I I don't think I've ever seen Altuve do like anything in the games I've been to. I don't know that I've watched Jose Altuve record a hit, actually. Which is insane. No, he's just off with his mom and dad. I didn't stab him. I didn't put him in the van. By the way, fun little part about having a white unmarked Astro van is a lot of people that look like they indulge in some not totally legal substances will always look at you when you pull into any parking lot like, oh, is that the guy? Which is just so much fun. You're at the game for his 2000th. My genuine thing, right, is I want to have enough money, like, stashed away, that when he gets to, like, 2,995 hits, I'm just going to fly to every game that he plays. There is no shot that I'm missing it. I'm seeing number 3,000. Like, I have to. Rogers running with JFK Jr. Yeah, I saw that. Hopefully not. It looks like he isn't going to, which is a miracle. Also, and I just have to throw this out there because I like making, vague political jokes, and I will never fully commit. But I do think it is funny of the comment that the Kennedy that is running made about Biden not finishing the next term. For the reason of a Kennedy calling someone out for not finishing a term is wildly entertaining. Okay, I'm actually going to look it up because I don't know. Dude, it's just with me as mother. I don't know that I've ever seen an Altuve freaking hit. Because I went to a game in 2018, and I feel like he either didn't play or had a mid-game. I know I didn't see it last year at the Boston game. He was injured for the 2 games I went to in Tampa. Game logs, 2018. June 29th. He did not. He went 0 for 4. I could make myself very sad if I actually looked this up. Okay, so he went 0 for 4. So that was the one game I went to. Then I went to 2019, the second game of the season. If I actually have never seen him get a hit, despite going to 6 games, that's kind of ridiculous. And, like, granted, the asterisk if he was injured for 2 of them, so 4 games. But even that, 4 games is insane. He went 0 for 3 in the second game that I went to. That's great. That's what you're looking for. Bregman goes down 0-2. This is not looking good for them. So was that in 2021 or 2022? That had to be 22. Yeah, that had to be 22. Bregman takes a ball. Was this the game? I've seen one. All right. One Altuve hit. And it was a game in Tampa against the Rays on the 21st of September, 2022. That's bonkers. And now I kind of want to see if he had any in that game in Boston, but I'm pretty sure he went 0 for 4 with like 3 strikeouts. If I am correct on that, I am going to be depressed. At Boston. He had 4 hits that? No, I didn't go to that one. I went to the... Oh my god. I watched him go 0 for 5 that night. He only had 1 strikeout. That's so dumb. No, dude, that's actually so dumb. Or wait, no, was it this game? Bregman gets into one. Be down, be down, be down, be down. Down for a base hit. Bregman drives home Jose Altuve. That's the first run of Altuve's season, if I'm not mistaken. I might very well be mistaken. Alex Bregman, that's a $400 million hit right there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, no, it definitely wasn't that game. So it was this one. Yup. I watched him go 0 for 5. So... I have watched Altuve go something to the equivalent of like 1 for 16 in person. And now I have to ask the legitimate question. Score is 1-0 in favor of the Astros. Now I have to ask the question. If you remove all the... Dude, okay. Nah, the Rodon's jersey is covered in sweat, and it's so visible that's kind of insane. Like, Boris is salivating. Boris right now is just thinking, all right, my man, $400 million hit right there. Just vaguely sends picture of a contract to Dana Brown right now. I feel like if you removed all the games that I went to from Jose Altuve's career, his career batting average would go up multiple points. Like, that's how bad it's been for the games I've been at. Like, a Hall of Fame player, first ballot Hall of Fame player, might I add, might go up if I were not present. It's that good. Cosrin is back, boys. I've seen a few Altuve. I've seen Bregman homer in like half the games I've been to. They're changing the contract as the game goes on. I mean, every time he gets a big hit, you gotta just be like, 400 million is the offer. I've seen Bregman homer a few times. I think I've seen... Have I seen 4 Bregman home runs in person? Which is wild, but like... I've seen a sizable chunk of Breggy home runs. Because the first game I went to, he homered. I know he homered last year in Boston. He homered in one of the games in Tampa I went to last year, like early in the season. And I think he homered in the second game of 2019, didn't he? If I have this much stupid memory, by the way, that I'm correct, I will gloat about it, just so we're on the same page. Javi in against Stanton. Nice little pitch. Doesn't get a bite, but a good thought. Nope, he went 0 for 4 that game. All right, so I've seen 3 Bregman homers in person. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened so many times. Oh, Stanton gets under one. No, those goofy-looking AirPod Pros are ridiculous. You know, it has ever been... Do you know... I assume that's... Do you know if it has ever been done where every player on the team gets a home run in the single game? I mean, probably back in, like, 1901 when, like, the pitcher against them was, like, Frosty McGoober and rules weren't there. Probably then. Maybe the real home runs were the friends we made along the way. You might be onto something there. Braves is about to get Bobby Bonilla money. Hopefully it ends better than that. I watched Chaz win the game with the RBI ground out when Brown had his first start versus the Rangers. That was late August of 2021, wasn't it? I remember that game very vividly. Wasn't that like August 25th? It was an afternoon game on a Wednesday. Right? Or am I tripping? Because it was on YouTube TV. If I'm thinking of that game. I might not be. Should Abreu be batting in the 5th spot? Listen, man. I've had some bad takes on this channel. Like when I said the Astros would win 115 games last year. That was a bad take. And I believed it at the time. I had the bad take. Really just watch that prediction video from 2023 and you'll see pretty much all of them. It was on YouTube TV is a wild statement. It really is. Like, dude, I don't know that he should be batting 5th, but also, listen, I've talked at length about one of the worst parts of, like, baseball. One of the worst parts of sports, if we're being honest, is when teams make a mistake, and instead of admitting the mistake, they double down on it or they refuse to make the mistake. But the Astros right now, with the way their depth is situated, with the way that their minor leagues are situated, they're just simply not in a position. Nope, I was thinking of a slightly different game. But I was correct that the win on the 25th was Wednesday the 25th. Was an afternoon game. So I got some points. Anyway, like, I've stated in the past, it's awful when a team makes a mistake and instead of admitting it and cutting their losses, they refuse to admit that they messed up. And so they deal with that problem for years. But with Jose Abreu and the way that just everything is around them, like, who are they going to put at first base if it's not Abreu? Like, you're going to run John Singleton out there? Like, that's the move you're going to make? That's the improvement that the Astros could have? Like, that ain't it. Or you call up a minor league prospect. But even at that, I don't really know what that does. I mean, you roll the dice there. You maybe could put Yordan there. I've thought about Yordan transitioning to a first baseman, kind of like a Freddie Freeman archetype. Like, yeah, I can't... It's not so much that the Astros... They can't move away from the mistake. And if you don't continue to put him there, like, what are your options? Like, and that's just at first. Talking about is it a good idea to continue to just put him high in the lineup? I mean, where else are you going to do stuff? Really is what it boils down to. Because you're not going to... Like, I'm trying to think of the lineup yesterday. Because Altuve... And honestly, there are a couple of tweaks I'd make to the batting lineup. Like, Altuve is fine in the first spot, that's obvious. I would have put Tucker at 2 and Jordan at 3. That's just what I would have liked to have seen. But, like, that's fine. And then once you get to the bottom 5 of Abreu, McCormick, Diaz, Pena, Myers, and, yeah, them. Like, maybe you put Chaz up a spot and you put Diaz up a spot. And you drop Abreu to, what would that be, 6th? Or 7th? 7th. But I think because you've got to get him going at some point. And you might just never be able to. But at least if he's kind of pad statting, or stat padding, and is, like, getting RBI. Again, it's a useless statistic. Like, that does not tell you anything. If you gave me 2 players and said one of them is going to hit, 310, 390, and slug whatever, it's irrelevant. And then a different guy was going to bat, like, 250, on base 304, but would have, double the RBIs, I wouldn't care. Like, that's so meaningless to address that. But at least if he's getting RBIs, like, you have something. Which is what you're just begging for right now. Like, you've got to get something out of him. And he doesn't seem like the type of person, and you could tell, like, he wants to be good. This isn't a Anthony Rodon thing where he seems like he just doesn't give a shit. Like, or not Anthony Rodon. Or am I right? Anthony Rendon, jeez. Like, it's not a Rendon thing where he just seemingly couldn't care less if he was there or not. And it's not that. Like, you can tell that Abreu wants to be good. He has great rapport with all the players. He seems like a great guy in the dugout and in the locker room and when he's chatting with the players on the field. You can tell that he cares. So I don't think moving him down is going to make him figure it out. Like, he seems like a very visceral and emotional player. Chaz almost stole a base. That's depressing. Also, Chas McCormick leadoff walk, by the way, just so we're clear here. Chas McCormick is going to win the MVP. I'm only a little bit biased. Like, you're not going to get him going by dropping him down. I compare him, this is a very different thing, but to hockey. Like, to Mika Zibanejad, where he's not going to figure it out by demoting him. That's not a factor. Like, you can. Or you could listen to Sparky. Could listen to the broadcast. I'm watching it on Apple, but I think that's because I've manipulated my subscription hard enough that I can do that. No, Abreu was solid in the playoffs. I will give him that credit. He pulled his weight. He was one of the few players, and that's the thing, is, like, he wants to win. He hasn't been spoiled like a lot of this team has been with playoff success. So, like, I have no qualm with him in the playoffs. I have absolutely no complaint. He was debatably one of the reasons that they even saw Game 7 against the Rangers. Pena's at bats yesterday were good. Hope it continues that way. Pena showed a lot of good yesterday. Like, that gives me hope. And I've said it before about Pena, which is expectation is the gateway to disappointment. Like, if you are Pena, damn it! Like, 5 more feet and he would have homered. And he would have broken that stupid streak. Like, I said this all season last year about Jeremy Pena. If you're expecting Carlos Correa, you're gonna be sad. Carlos Correa is one of the best shortstops in the league and has, if you're looking at just individual seasons, posted some of the best seasons by a shortstop since 2010. Like, he's been that good. Offensively and defensively. He has been really, really good in a lot of seasons. And so if you're putting Jeremy Pena in the box of Carlos Correa, you're setting yourself up to be pissed off at Jeremy Pena. Like, shortstop is 10 points under the average for WRC+. So if you want to just go by the average, an average shortstop is going to have a 90, and Pena in his first 2 seasons had like a 104 and like a 98. So he's a slightly above average shortstop with really good with really good defense. And it would be the same thing. Chas McCormick has the first stolen base of the Astros season. Chas McCormick is going to win MVP. Now, if Chas has a 30 for 30 season, I don't know what I'll do, but I will do things. What those are, I do not yet know. But I need you to understand that if I get to watch Chas McCormick have a 30-30, I will ascend to the heavens. Like, it would be as unfair putting him in that box for Pena as if you put... And you watched it happen. Like, people put Hunter Brown in the Justin Verlander box and then got pissed when he was an average pitcher. Like, you can't do that to people. But that's the thing, is like, you don't have to be better than Carlos Correa. Because part of the thing is the money involved. Like, yeah, Correa is the better shortstop. I'm not going to argue that in the slightest bit. But you're paying Correa $30-some million versus paying Pena another year of league mint, and then next year you're probably going to go into arbitration. And because arbiters in the past have shown to be very, like, old talking head based, you can probably just point to be like, he's only batting .220, he should get $10 million, and then be done with it. Dude, I would love nothing more than to see Chas McCormick in some goofy Looney Tune mustache. That would be iconic. Can Myers make a strong argument not to be traded? All right. Yeah, I know. You think anyone at an arbitration meeting is like, look at expected WOBA? If you brought up expected WOBA in an arbitration meeting, you're getting a wedgie. There is no shot you don't. Altuve now bats with 2 men aboard and with 2 outs. No, and you... Noah, you have the closest, like, insider knowledge of anyone here. Can you do me a favor? What are the numbers that usually come up in arbitration meetings? If you know. Like, if you happen to know, I would like to know. I can ask the source too. You are right. But, like, I've got to know. Because that fascinates me. I gotta do it. Like, I've got to. Altuve takes another ball outside, even the count at 2 apiece. No, I'm aware of the fireman mustaches. I've been told I have a fireman mustache by other firefighters. I'm not one of them. I could not do that. Another ball outside. Adley with the absolute heater of going to the arbitration meeting and bring up my player's ex BACON as an argument to give him an extra million. That'd be incredible. Also, I know what that is. That's expected batting average on balls, or expected batting average on contact. So only, like, I know the number. I like the number, genuinely. That argument is what I use when I talk about Michael Brantley. Sorry, I'm texting the source. And by that, I mean sending a DM in a group chat. Yeah, I've gotten Surfer Dude a lot. I've gotten, like, Surfer Dude. I've gotten... Altuve and Pena both had absolute heaters. But both of them were for hard outs. I'm interested. What were the expected batting averages on those two things? I've gotten, like... I think I've said this before in a video. Or at the very least in a live stream. Like, white guys with long hair are... And I mean this in the... I don't mean this in a bad way. I need you to understand that. They're the Asians of white guys. Because I've been told that I look like 1,000 different long-haired white dudes. And none of them look like me. Other than the long hair. Like, that's it. I've gotten Robert Plant. I've gotten Neil Peart, which I actually do take that with some honor because I love Neil Peart. One of my heroes, by the way, for drumming. Like, that one's cool. I've gotten Jim Morrison, which, no. If you've ever seen a picture of Jim Morrison, no. Not even remotely. I've gotten... One that I got that I did kind of agree with was Mike Clevenger, but that was just like, yeah, a little bit. I look like him. Like, there have been so many different people that they're like, you look like that dude. And I'm like, what you mean to say is that we have similar hairstyles, and that's it. Weston album went. Oh, it's loading. Don't even worry about it. No, the album's coming. Like, this is, for reference, a picture of Jim Morrison. And this is... No. That didn't show up even a little bit on camera, so you know what? That's y'all's problem. We call them vibe streams for a reason, folks. Like, I've been told that I look like so many Weston Petty. Nah, because I love Tom Petty, though. Nah, because that's actually, like... Among songwriters, Petty's one of my absolute heroes. One of my goats, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I don't argue that he's like the best, but damn if Tom Petty might not be my favorite artist and Wildflowers might not be my favorite album. Dude, like, West is Sunshine from Remember the Titans. I swear to God. Like every single white dude. Favorite Petty song? Mine's probably Square One if I had to choose. That's so difficult because like there's the low-hanging fruit and a couple of songs that I really do enjoy. Like Free Falling's good, and you're never gonna hear me complain when that comes on, and that's the one that everyone probably hears the most because it's the most popular one. Wildflowers is genuinely just a beautiful song. If I had to go with weird ones, and I'm gonna try to be obscure, or at least as obscure as I can get, I really like Blue Sunday by him. It was on Highway Travelers or Highway Companion, which was like a weird album from him. It's one of the only songs on there that I like. Like, that is a really good song, Blue Sunday. I really like Echo and Room at the Top from the album Echo. Both of those are good. Trying to think of another weird one. What? Okay, I'm gonna come back to that, Alex. What was another? I'm trying to think of, like, there's one other Petty song that I'm thinking of. Oh, Last DJ is fun. That's just a fun song. Like, just straight up. Okay. I'm gonna need to look him up. Gosh damn it. What? Okay, I gotta be honest with everybody. I've never watched Remember the Titans. But I will say, I cannot throw a football that well. I am not tall. Oh, Cabin Down Below is another good one off Wildflowers. Like, that's... I'm trying to give you weird songs from every album. Because there's obviously the great ones that everyone knows and likes. Another pretty easy ending for Christian Javier. Nothing too shabby there. Like, that's the thing, is I don't want to give people, like, boring songs that they've heard a million times. Or even just, like, the common ones that you could find on your own. I want to go weird. He's given up one walk, I think. Nope, no walks. One hard hit ball for Christian Javier, 3 total hits, an expected batting average for the Yankees of .215, and 3 strikeouts. Weezer, oh my god. My favorite Weezer song. Enter Sandman. That's a pretty good Weezer song. Listen, music's an art, And like I will be like, "Oh, come on, you should," because I like that person a lot. But like I'm not going to yell at you because you don't listen to a guy. Literally my best friend maybe he's listened to like 2 Tom Petty songs in his entire life, and I don't like it. I get it. I mean, I think you should, but also there's so many artists. Like there's so many people. It's insane. But like, I always go weird. Like when someone mentions the Beatles, you gotta go with something obscure. There's the low-hanging fruit. Nah, nah, nah. Gotta listen to that I Am the Walrus type beat. Brother man, he's gone 3 shutout innings with only 3 base runners. He's doing fine. I have not listened to My Morning Jacket, but apparently he is maybe related to Ryan Stenek, so like good for him. I miss Ryan Stenek. Is Soto injured? Oh shoot, man. That's not good. That's not good. I remember for the longest time not knowing that Paul McCartney was a Beatle. I'm going to ignore the fact that you misspelt it and continue on. Dude, if Soto leaves this game at some point injured, it's over for the Yankees. Like that's it's so over. It's fine. Also, like you're technically spelling Beatle correctly. You're just spelling the Beatles wrong. Okay, I think I said this last year, but I'll say it again because it's one of my dumbest takes of all time. I was a grown man before I realized that who John Lennon was. Like I was aware of the Beatles. I understood that they were a very popular band. But I didn't know any of them. I did not know McCartney. I did not know Ringo. I did not know Lennon. I did not know Harrison. And so, but I was aware of. Dude, Verdugo has stolen like 5 runs from the Astros in 2 games. Like he's been stupid. Anyway, I didn't know who any of them were, but I knew from listening to enough Christmas songs and seeing the names on the bottom of the screen who John Lennon and Paul McCartney were. And I, for the longest time, assumed, because they just weren't who I listened to, that, oh, they were both just one-hit wonders who wrote really catchy Christmas songs. That was it. That was the whole thing. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. The Beatles aren't irrelevant. Ringo Starr narrated Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm kind of upset that they didn't give Tucker a 30 home run season. So I'm realizing just now that they did rule that inside the Parker for Tucker last year as a triple with an error. Foo Fighters Everlong. Great song. I like Foo Fighters, man. And by that I mean I like the 2 songs that everyone likes from the Foo Fighters. Like, yes, I too like Everlong and My Hero. And no, I cannot name any of the other songs by Foo Fighters. I'm about to ruin your day. I have no opinion of Pearl Jam. I don't think I've ever listened to a song of theirs. A band who I do find, though, that I grow more and more love for as I get older is Nirvana. Like, as I age and my hair's turned gray, Nirvana is a group that I do genuinely like. And little Flair. What was I gonna say? No, Nirvana's like I greatly enjoy their entire what was it? The MTV Unplugged. The MTV Unplugged show is the only reason I have hot rods, because uh bro, I cannot think of it. And like it's bad that I can't. Dave Grohl. Like him rocking the little low key thing with the hot rods made me want to get those. Bregman, that's a $300 million pop out right there. Scott Boras as he messages them. Oof. Nickelback is overhated. I no fan, but they get more hate than they deserve. Nickelback's fun. Dude, Nickelback is like the John Wick of bands. You know, like, no, they're not the best, but they sure are fun. No, that was gifted to me yesterday. Like, that's a $300 million. Come on, Briggs. GNR. Don't know who that is. So I either like them or I do not. I've thought about. Here's the thing that's difficult with a merch store. Is like, because so much of my brand is tied to players and a logo, I can't do much. Like, I can't make a Chaz shirt. And I can't make anything Astros related. Like, I couldn't make a thing that's like, you know, I love talking about the story. Like, I couldn't do that because that's tied to them intrinsically. Like, if I said enough things that I felt were line worthy, I probably would. What inning are we in? It's the bottom of the third inning, if I'm not mistaken. Not endorsing bootlegging, but still. Nah, because, like, you got a point. Thoughts on Guns N' Roses? I too like Sweet Child of Mine. And I mean, Thick Chat would work. No, I could make a Thick Chat t-shirt. I would say that Hobby's pitching well. Like, he's gone 3 innings, given up 3 hits, 1 hard hit ball, got 3 strikeouts, hasn't allowed a walk yet. I think he's doing fine. Got into a little bit of trouble in this last inning, but he's been adequate. I have no qualms with how Hobby's looked. Okay, that would be kind of funny. Nah, because that would... Okay, so time for a little history lesson, everybody. We're going to go back to the well of... we're going to go back to the well. Colorado Avalanche. There was a beauteous man on the Colorado Avalanche named Jeez Louise, I'm looking at Kyle Tucker, named Adam Deadmarsh. And he was awesome. Everyone loved Deadmarsh because A, he was a really good power forward, and B, that is a really fun name to say. And through random digging through random numbers and random jerseys and random everything, it was brought to my attention that he had a uncle named Butch Deadmarsh, and he is the most 1970s hockey player I have ever seen in my life. He looks like he probably did a line before every game, and I'm not talking about the hockey lines. He was never a 30-30, though. Dude, that cost him like $10 million, not getting that 30-30. Like, are you kidding me? Like, again, people at arbitration meetings are not talking about any statistic that actually matters. They're talking about, like, well, yeah, you only hit 14 home runs, and you only batted .270. That's not good. I on-based .415. Dude, Taylor Scott is going to be the meme this year. I feel it in my bones. Up to $450 million with that steal from Alex Bregman. No, he was focused on the playoffs. What Kyle Tucker are you talking about? I hope to God he wasn't. Because if that was Tucker focusing on the playoffs, holy God, man. Chaz McCormick's here to save us, guys. Don't worry about it. Dude, Tucker was a non-factor. Like, I am greatly hoping that he, in fact, was not focused during the playoffs because he did nothing. 1 RBI. Batted .143 and on-base .294 against the Twins, and then hit .154 and OBP .290 against the Rangers. Chaz, why you gotta do us like that? Not getting run out of that stings big time. Anyways, I saw a Canadian license plate. Not interesting, but I know it's something cool that I found. Nah, because I talked about it earlier. Like, Canada doesn't exist. Canada is a fake place that your parents came up with to make you be nicer. Like, you know how you'd go for a drive and your dad would make you think that, like, the US government would ascend from the heavens and arrest everyone you love if you turned the light on when you were driving at night? Like in the car, like the little reading light in a car. Like, Canada's that, but just to make us be nicer. It's just a figment of our parents' imagination to make us not be so rude. And you can't convince me otherwise. Can't wait for the Weston Goes to Canada road trip video next year. I'm not, because there's nothing to go to. It's fake. Like, they got you good. Why am I getting an ad for some weird thing? I'm getting an ad for some weird thing that you can put on a truck. Don't worry about it, guys. I don't have to worry about polishing my 1999 Astro van. Olympic Stadium, the Hockey Hall of Fame. Listen, the only hockey I care about is it's the good old American boys of the U.S. You can keep your Patrick Waugh and your, I don't know, another Canadian goaltender off the top of my head. I'll be over here. Give me Jonathan Quick. Give me Jeremy Swayman and that Connor Hellebuck fella. Give me that Mike Richter. Get up. Okay, I gotta be honest. I read what you said very differently. But get a big head of Chaz and stick it on the van. Have to. Weston talking to a Blue Jays player and telling him that Canada and, to an extent, Toronto doesn't exist. On Javi's. Javi is pitching. No, Javi's looking good. I'm feeling it for Javi. You can bring the Stanley Cup to the Garden too, my guy. No, like the Toronto Blue Jays stadium, it's like the second you step outside, it's just like the back set of a Disney Channel show. Like, it's just a set. They're making you think that it exists. It doesn't. Has anyone here actually met a Canadian? No. They're not real. Maybe Vladdy would be offended since he's half Canadian. He's not. Brother, he's just like, he's half Guerrero, half nothing. Guerrero just woke up one day and just, like, gestured at a stick long enough until it came... Okay, I've lost it. Until he became a child. New t-shirt idea, Canada doesn't exist. Javier with another strikeout gets Giancarlo Stanton. Those accents are fake as shit, not gonna lie. Exactly! Listen, one of my favorite things to do with the We Ride at Dawn meme. Okay, no, the We Ride at Dawn and Canada doesn't exist actually would be good. I could make those. Put those in the lore book. I've never seen South Park, but if they also don't like Canada, I'm with them. Ground ball. There it is. Through 4, Christian Javier on 47 pitches has 4 strikeouts, a pair of 1-2-3 innings, not surrendered a walk, and has shut out the New York Yankees. Not too bad. The South Park movie's premise is that they can blame Canada for their children misbehaving. I mean, I've watched the We Ride at Dawn, but like 8 times over. Honestly, that's one of my better videos. Like, there are a few bits that and like, I wish I could be. That's another thing that's really difficult about making a video for every single game, is like there's 150 or 162 of them. So there's so many. And like, it's difficult to come up with new bits for everything. Like, even just making a bit to start every video can get difficult. But like, the videos where I've actually had like 2 or 3 different little bits in them, I feel immensely proud of, because like I was able to take a game and make multiple jokes out of that. And not just like the little like kind of subdued bits of comedy that I've put into videos, or just like subtle jabs that are supposed to get like a little snicker. But like the genuine joke bits that I've put into videos, like the We Ride at Dawn, I've been very... that's one of my favorite jokes. Was the whole tinfoil hat thing. But there's that... I'm trying to think of the other ones. Does anyone remember? I think it was the first season I was down here in this room. Like, I think I had moved from the upstairs room to down here. Of the, like, if you like mysteries, the Astros are for you, ranting about the 2021 season. Craig Counsell still looks like he's 7 years old. That's crazy. Listen, we might be through 4, but we've got to get through another one. Spoofing CSI might... Okay, no, that one was really good. I was really proud of that one. I forget what that was from. Oh my god, I need to find that one. That was one of my best. That was so much fun to do. I loved recording that one. There's a base hit for Yainer Diaz. Dude. Justin Turner's a Blue Jay? Justin Turner is a Blue Jay. Insane. Can we get Canadian Weston? We might have to get Canadian Weston soon. Like, that might be a bit that I have to come up with. Like, because there's a finite amount of countries that I can make fun of. Like, I can make fun of England every day of the week and no one would care, because England deserves it. I could make fun of Ireland a lot. I could make fun of Poland, because what are they gonna do? Paying you with a base hit. It's only 2 games, but Jeremy Pena's stance change looks like it's done wonders, because it's not just that he's getting hits on like these lucky things. He's getting really good bat to ball. He's getting really good contact. He's driving it a lot better. He's going opposite field quite a bit, which I'll look it up for last year, but I'm not sure if Pena was going oppo much. I feel like he wasn't. But, like, if I pull up his spray chart, like, he definitely wasn't just pulling the ball constantly. but it definitely favors. Can we freaking not, guys? Jake Myers is going to be the new Chaz McCormick because he actually hits well finally. Finally, after years of us trying to make fetch happen in Jake Myers. Just for him to finally hit well and be like, all right, go bunt. Jake Myers squares one. Deep left center. That'll be caught by Verdugo. Not hit that well, I suppose. Looked like it was destroyed. Thank you, camera angle. We're hitting the gaps. No, they really are. No, Canadian Weston would wear that frickin' Calgary Cowboys jersey. He would order a Calgary Cowboys jersey for Adam Deadmarsh. Not Adam Deadmarsh, excuse me, Butch Deadmarsh. Jeremiah, it's been a hot minute, my boy. Good to see you back in the chat. I feel like I would ironically close enough. Listen, man, I'm going to say it was a typo and move along. That's what I'm willing to give him, that it was a typo. Listen, I might be partially Canadian because I do say sorry for literally everything. I got yelled at yesterday because I was apologizing for things that weren't my fault. And one of my coworkers was just like, no, you're done. You have to be done. This has nothing to do with you. Stop saying I'm sorry. New Weston character Dustin to be introduced to the Weston verse. We have T-shirt Weston, tinfoil hat conspiracy redneck Weston, the normal one, which is me, in the jersey. Altuve squares one. That's so unfortunate, man. Suit Weston, I can't forget about him. I feel like it has to be more formal Weston, right? Because I haven't always worn a suit. Sometimes I've done like the tie and vest a few times. So I feel like just like formal Weston, you know, classy Weston. Business Weston, really. $300 million contact Weston. Nah, that's $300 million contact Bregman. He ain't up for a little bit. We need formal Weston. I have worn many a ties for this channel. I feel like Canadian Weston would just be a CCM hat and the black and red flannel. Like, that's all I'd need. I feel like Ghetto Weston is just the tinfoil hat Weston, if I'm being honest. Like, are those not the same person? Sketchy white van Weston. Love of God. That is Ghetto Weston, straight up that is. I had a moment the other day where I went somewhere in the van and I was wearing like light wash blue jeans, a black t-shirt, and like a flannel, getting out of the van with my long shaggy hair, and I'm like, oh my God, I am Kurt Cobain. Pre-incident. I feel like Mexican Weston is how I get canceled. The second I put on a poncho and a hat is the moment people go, no. Not you. You can't do that. I don't know, man. I have not paid attention to the Rockies in my life. Strikeout. The Lobstros are back, baby. Where the local Florida man live. Oh my god. Yeah, we have one. We have a Mexican Weston. I can't do that. Because the YouTube masses as a whole are not going to be like, there's another Weston that happens to say it's okay for him to do this. That ain't happening. Okay, so like the Panhandle, I'm sure is bad. Around me, I'm trying to think of the sketchiest part around me. I think that we ride at dawn. I'm leaving at a large market. Wasn't that game 5 of the ALCS last year? I feel like it was game 5. That's something I can look up and not get copyrighted for. Who's going to copyright me looking at that? Myself? No. I assume I put that in personal favorites, but I might not have. One for 9 with runners in scoring position, like tonight or this season. I'd believe either one. Tonight, good Lord Almighty. All right, I do think it was game 5. It was indeed. Brother, that's how I get thrown. No, it was definitely game 5. I found that part. I'm trying to remember why that video got there. Nah, the We Ride It Dawn was good. I'm trying to think of the other one from last year that I was pretty proud of. I know that sounds very, like, self-absorbed. To be like, yes, this joke that I think was funny. There's been a few. See, my problem is, like, I'll get a month into the season, and I'll write down, I'm like, that was really funny. I should put that in a clip montage at the end of the season, and then I forget. Like, I would like to go back, but that's also the other thing. It's like there's so much to comb through that I just don't even know if I could. Like, go back in a season. Strikes out Anthony Volpe. Like, I don't think I could go back in a season and find all the moments. I think I could write down the moments, like, from the season that I appreciate or that I find funny. So, like, I might do that. But even that would be kind of a lot. want to do a tier list for you, but I had trouble naming a category. A tier list of like players or a tier list of like what you talking about? Oh my god. All right. So Sunday. That is a hell of a stash from Austin. Look at that guy. You guys seeing that Austin Wells fella from the Yankees? Oh. A Dusty held you back tier and injuries held you back tier is that's so good. Dude, look at that absolute beaut across the face of Austin Wells. Incredible. Anyway, so I went to the zoo with my sister and her kids and with my family. What am I saying? Good lord. It wasn't like 3 people. Gonna do a Weston character list? I need to. Anyway, I need to do a tier list of like the different manic side note. No, I'm gonna get to the side note after I tell the bird story. I'll do that really quickly. Which was, we're walking around the zoo and we come to this area and it was a couple of like high school-ish aged kids, maybe high school or like freshman college age, that were talking about the breeding program that they have going on at the zoo nearby me. And it's a super cool thing. Like, they're raising endangered species to, like, back to health. And it's super cool. And you give them a lot of applause. And I know that zoos are a very, like, kind of taboo topic. And I'm not saying, oh, we're one of the good ones just out of homerism. I'm saying it because genuinely it's rated as, like, one of the best zoos in America. Like, the Brevard Zoo, I will actually go to bat for hard. They are a very good and respected program with basically everything they do. And they are genuinely one of not only the good ones, but one of the best ones. So they're talking about their breeding program. And at this table laid out, they have like displays of the animals, and they're fake. It's like a little fake gecko guy and like a little fake mouse off in the corner. And on the tabletop, there are like 3 fake stuffed birds. And we walk up, my sister's already there talking to them. And I walk up. And they gesture vaguely to the birds. And they're like, these are the ones that we're raising. And without missing a beat, I just hit them with the, like, oh man, they're so well trained. It was the most dad-ass joke I have ever said. And I am so proud of it. Half the players in the Yankees roster are just random firefighters they stole from NYC. I mean, I'd believe it. Back on the wall. Over McCormick. Throw in. Hold them to 2. Extra base hit for Oswaldo Cabrera, which isn't great. But at least it wasn't a home run. Okay, so back to the characters. I love the thought of people like, this is my favorite character you put on. Which, like, the subtext is, this is my favorite personality when you talk to yourself in an empty room. And I record it to put on the internet, so, like, you know, it makes sense. He did not have to jump, but McCormick... You ever seen that Dude Perfect video of, like, the softball stereotypes? And it was the dude who tries to make everything look like an ESPN play. That was McCormick on that play right there. I love him. That was that play right there. So the Yankees now with a chance to tie the game because the Astros offense... Remember yesterday, by the way, when I said... I'm not... remember yesterday when I talked about Fromber kind of blowing chunks? And then... right? Like, I'm not insane. I do this with purpose. Like, I don't just sit in the corner talking to myself in genuine conversation all day. But, like, when I put it like that, it's funny. Now, you guys remember yesterday in the stream when I talked about, like, oh, I can't wait for Fromber to kind of suck all game, but still gets a standing O, just for tomorrow, Javi will probably pitch a gem, but they'll lose, like, 2-1, and he'll get cooked as he leaves for it. That's what we're looking at right now. Ahead now, 1-2 on Gleyber Torres. Christian Javier, who has been cooking all night. How is Jeremy Pena 26? He looks like he's 7 years old. Javier deals. Down in the dirt, bounces off of him. That took such a good bounce for Javi, it's kind of funny. I definitely do not. I love the subtext. I love the idea of me just sitting in the room. I will say, I don't do it throughout the day. But, like, I will sit and, like, workshop the video as I'm getting ready to do it. No. Weston is my favorite schizophrenic. Oh my god. That's an all-timer. Got him! Big pitch from Javi, and he gets through 5 scoreless. His 6th K of the night. Bang! Well, for a Jets fan, that's just another... Dude! Dude! No, it is funny because I will kind of be like thinking aloud after a game ends, trying to be like, all right, how do I want to do the video? How do I want to structure it? And usually I have like just the vaguest of ideas going into a video and I just kind of let it roll in real time. But also the important thing to remember, which is for every minute of footage you see, there's probably like another 5 that I have to either cut out or reshoot. So just remember, for every 10 minutes of talking to myself that actually gets seen by the world, there's probably 40 minutes that doesn't. And on that note, is this coffee on his shirt? This is coffee on his shirt, Javi. Like, I've seen a lot of Javi in my day. And this Javi's cooking. This Javi's cooking with some Fireman Weston. I don't think Fireman Weston has a personality. I think Fireman Weston's whole deal. Now that is actually another fun little piece of lore. So I play hockey, I've said this before. Sometimes Sunday games are greatly delayed because I'm out somewhere playing hockey, which is a fun little thing for you. And one time, not one time, actually, a couple of times, because I've played this team multiple times, is I like play a team of firefighters. Sorry, I was trying to like articulate it and also read some things. Like, we'll play a team of firefighters, which is just like a local org for us. And it's super cool. You know, they're all a bunch of cool dudes. I get on with them well. But it's funny because I am the little goaltender in one end versus a bunch of like 6'4" plus firefighters. And meanwhile, these mammoth men who are built like bricks and 9 feet tall compared to me are not being able to score on me and like cursing me out for stopping them, and it's really entertaining for me. It's one of my favorite things to do. I mean, as in the fireman guy who's the Jets fan, you're his successor. Hell yeah. The changeup is a fine addition. Hobby's changeups look pretty good. Has Bregman had a $300 million game or a $150 million game? A $7 game. Get him cheap. Rodon's done, which is cool. Gonna get to the Yankees pen. Always important. Always trying to start milking the bullpen, because that'll help you tomorrow and Sunday. Oh, that's crazy. He was happy. Dude, seeing how excitable Igor Shesterkin. I need to record that video tonight. I just remembered. Yeah, I need to record an Astros video tonight for this game. I also then need to record a Rangers video for last night's game. If the Astros could pull that off, if they could trade Bregman, or like let him walk to the Yankees, or not the Yankees, the Mets, to then re-sign him the following year. Dude, I understand the whole, like, wait your time thing. Have we reached a point in sports where holding out is not worth it? Like, genuinely. And I'm sure that there are just as many players who have held out and then come back to be fine. But when I'm thinking about players who held out for a contract and then didn't get one, and then eventually did get one, it doesn't go well. Because the two that ring for me the most were Dallas Keuchel to the Braves, where he just sucked, and the Jets and Le'Veon Bell. We're not going down the Le'Veon Bell conversation, by the way. I'm going to stop that right before we get into it. But, like, those are the two most obvious stars. Or, like, you have another guy in hockey right now, like, I'm not talking about, like, holding out to opening day. I think you can go to the first game. But, like, think of all the acquisitions that weren't signed. Like, they were just sitting in free agency until, like, halfway through the season. And then randomly they were like, all right, yeah, it's, you know, halfway into the season, but yeah, we'll add you to the team. Why not? You were sitting sitting around as a free agent. And, you know, Joe Flacco I'll throw out there. Like, that worked. You know how many balls you have to get to draw a walk? 4. You know how many, you know the number that you need to put in front of double zeros to re-sign Alex Bregman? A 4, said Scott Boras right now upon him drawing that walk to Dana Brown. That's a $400 million walk by Alex Bregman, if I've ever seen one. Like, that's the thing, is I understand the thought process behind holding out. But there's just so many examples of players who have held out and then either not gotten it, like had to settle for money that was already on the table, or like just had their careers basically ended. Like, Bell did nothing after that with the Jets. Keuchel has been a disaster. He's on a minor league deal now, if I'm not mistaken. If he's even still pitching. And again, I'm sure that there's people that I'm like purposefully in my mind missing to try to make myself seem smarter. But it's just such a weird thing. And then you have like Saquon Barkley. And like, I understand that $100,000 is a lot of money. But last year you had Barkley and the Giants go through this crazy contract dispute over what ended up being $100,000. And again, I've never had $12 million. I probably will never have $12 million. But what I can tell you is that I feel like all the stress that the Giants and Barkley had to go through for that contract and for that extra $100 million attached to like $12 million, I can't imagine that was ultimately worth it in the long run. Like, I don't know. I value the lack of stress in my life as like a very important thing, or like the lack of anxiety. And I can't imagine that riding on your head would be great. Like, some Boris clients were offered or wanted lots of money, were offered medium amounts, and then signed for cheap money. I mean, that's the other thing, is because if you have to do that, you're never getting a good contract for yourself again. Like, you've got to either go all out one direction or the other. Because if you go into an off season saying, I want $30 million a season and I want 5 years and I'm not accepting any less, and then you get close to the season and they're like, no, and you go, guess I'll sit it out. Guess I'll wait. And then a week into the season, or a week before the season starts, or a day before the season starts, you're like, hey, you know, I'll take 18 million. Like, you're cooked. You're done. You're never getting a deal in your favor in your life from that point, because the word's out. You're just willing to be like, you're willing to go back on it, and you're not. You blinked. It's as simple as that. And so, like, Blake Snell wanted, like, what, 5 years, $30-some million, ends up signing for, like, 20-some? Only a couple years? I could be wrong. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Because he just... Okay, 2 years at 62. So he did get pretty good money. That was wrong on my part. Like, he got the average salary of 32. But again, that kind of cooks him in the long run, no? Because, I mean, he's 31, and he'll be 32 to start next year. I assume there's an opt-out. Yeah, there's a player opt-out. So, like, he very easily could opt out of the contract after this season. And I get the betting on yourself thing, but also you're betting on yourself, but in some cases to, I mean, defy normal, like, things are out of your control. If you were just betting on yourself, that's a totally different thing. Because he's 31, he's going to be 32 by the start of next season. He's going to be 32 in the off season, like around the time you would think about signing a contract extension, or if you use the player option. Like, how many players are going to offer a big contract to a 32-year-old? And I'm sure there's going to be some team, like some team that's slightly above average, that wants to make their big throw in the off season is going to offer him, like, you know, probably a 5-year deal worth a bunch of money. But you're betting on yourself to not get injured. And if I'm not mistaken, he kind of has a track record of getting injured. And also, don't get me wrong, I like Blake Snell a lot. He has been very, very good in his career. He's won 2 Cy Young Awards. That's really difficult to do. Like, obviously, that's very difficult to do. But if you take out, and that's such a cop-out by saying it, by the way, I'm totally going to admit that. Like, that's a real jerk thing to say. Like, oh, if you remove literally the 2 years where he won the award for being the best pitcher, he hasn't been good. Like, I understand that that's a stupid-ass argument. But that's a big bet that you're going to maintain your very, very elite form. Which, when it's been there, has been there in spades. Like, when you've been elite, you've been the elite. But when you haven't, you've just kind of been that guy. And he pitches 23 games in 2019, the 11 in 2020, but that was a full season for him, 27 in 21, 24 in 2022. Last year, he pitched a full 32 games and won the Cy Young. Like, I'm not trying to make it seem like, oh, this Blake Snell guy isn't that good. I wanted Blake Snell desperately for the Astros. I wanted to give him that contract that he signed. But I was hearing that he was going to get a big 7-8 year deal, and he ends up getting 2 years that's a glorified 1-year deal. Offense is cooked. Offense is very cooked. Look at what Correa did. He signed a 3-year deal with opt-outs every year. Opted out his first year, re-signed with the Twins on a very similar contract to what he was already on. Like, again, I greatly value my mental. Like, I hate being... Not that anyone's like, oh, I enjoy being anxious. Like, yes, I, for one, Weston, like feeling nervous at all hours of the day. I'm not an idiot. I am aware that that is not something that happens. But I can't imagine or fathom, like, more or less gambling on that much money on yourself, and in some cases stuff that's out of your control. Like, you can't, with especially at an older age like Blake Snell, not that 32 is old in the grand scheme of life, but for a pitcher who has at times shown injury issues, to just be saying, yep, I'm gonna sign a big long extension at 32 is kind of bonkers. Aaron Judge fouls it back and I think breaks his bat on the swing. Okay, I looked up the Correa thing. Signed a contract, 6 years, $200 million, average salary of 33 million. And the contract he had signed before that was an average of 35. So he lost money. Like, technically speaking, he lost money. Um, I firmly believe that Correa wanted to stay here, but Crane thought otherwise. Didn't it come out that Crane didn't offer him a contract? He lost money from yearly salary. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, and again, he got it longer term, which is what he wanted. But I'm sure he had those contract offers before that. And didn't the Mets offer him more than 33 a year? Like, the physicals fell through. But and like his payroll salary is kind of high right now. It's going to be 33. Next year it's going to be 37. And then he's kind of going to come down. He's going to like I don't know. It is a interesting topic to talk about crazy amounts of money. Crane offered a contract, but it was 3 years. The Twins initially gave him. There you go. Yeah, I was like, how do you fail the physical? Like, what does that even mean? Well, no, because I made videos about Correa signing with the Mets and the Giants. I made those videos. Bro. Dude, okay, listen. As a dude who sweats a lot, right? That's been a thing for me. Your boy Taylor, no, it's Tyler Scott. Tyler Scott. Or Taylor Scott. Pardon me, Taylor Scott. Not Tyler. You're messing me up. It's Taylor Scott. The GOAT. The future GOAT of this franchise. Anyway, the point I was making, if I can find it, which I might not be able to. Oh, no. As a person who sweats a lot, and I'm from Florida. It's hot already. But I sweat a good bit. There's no shot they're pulling Javi, right? I'm going to give him more love than I gave Brooks Raley. Because we have more subscribers now. So he's just going to have a sect of people who, like, adore him. And I hope he's confused. Like, I hope he's confused by the sheer number. Is Altuve there and just hiding behind him, or was he off? Okay, he was off probably talking to the first base guy. Imagine. He's just pitcher Chas McCormick. Like, the jerseys right now, with all the sweat they are producing, because you can see the pictures of Carlos Rodon, that's my worst nightmare. That is my biggest nightmare. That's insane. Like, dude. That is awful. It might just be on the broadcast. It looks orange to me. Like, it doesn't look any different. That, like, the picture of Carlos Rodon is, and how just sweat soaked he is. I hope Espada did. If Espada ever finds this, tell Chaz I say hello. Those forearms are about to swing and miss at strike 3 on this pitch. Please don't jinx me. Damn it. But Jake Myers puts it away for out number 3, and the Astros get through it. Javi, with 6 innings of shutout baseball. That is the coffee Javi that we have come to miss. Javier, man. Gem of a game. Very nice way to start the season. Joe Espada is a massive Weston fan and watches every Astros recap video after the... I hope he does. I hope that's how he gets his intel. All I'm saying is Espada likes Chas McCormick. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm going to put out there, you know. He's into Chaz. Just... And Yiner. I don't know, man. Like, you do the math. Also, side note, and I don't know that it says that the team was, like, mad at Dusty Baker, but I think the team was definitely... After all, Joe's daughters must probably watch you and Locked on Astros. Joe Espada has children? No, I knew who you were talking about. Huh. Like, I cannot comprehend that Joe Espada has children. Like, grown children. Holy. I want to do that again. See, here's the problem. It's her fault, ultimately, because she has 3 children. But they were great. Dude, he's 42. His daughter looks like a grown adult. Like, that's strange. Or that's his wife. I don't know. I want to think that his daughter watches the videos. That'd be really funny. Like, Dad, this weird kid in Florida was yelling about Chas McCormick. Of course I hate children. Why do you think I got the van? It's her fault she has. No, that's so real though. Like, and that was the thing. It was it's one of the most fun things I've recorded on here because at our core we're idiots and we have the same dumb sense of humor. And despite the fact that she is a grown adult with a house and with children, and I am a grown adult with not a house or children, but a grown adult, technically speaking. You put us in a room together and we're five. And not in an endearing way. Five in like a crackhead energy way. Have you guys ever seen, I think it's the Daniel Sloss comedy bit about children? It's very entertaining. And as a person who thinks the world of my nieces and nephew, I relate to that comedy bit a lot. Like, it's really good. Like, theoretically, right? And this is back kind of to the Joe Espadas family watching the videos. There's gotta be someone on the Astros, or at least in their system, who's seen one of these. Like, there's no shot. Like, there's no shot that someone within this organization hasn't watched one of them. Myers sends one deep to center, Judge is back on it and gets it. Indeed, there she is. Yeah. Saturday live streams for games. Maybe. Here's the issue, right? Is Noob Slayer, have you seen Pena's triceps? Listen. All I'm saying. I heard Abreu was watching Locked on Astros when he first joined to see what the fan base was. Why couldn't he have watched my video? I was all aboard the Jose Abreu train. Like, why couldn't he watch me? Like, the thing that's hard with the Saturday games is I hope he did. Because, like, there aren't a ton of Astro fans making videos. Like, there's some, there's me, there's the Locked On guys, there's Solo. But, like, there aren't a ton of Astros people that I'm aware of. And I'm sure there are more, I just am not aware of them. But I mean, there's not a ton of options. So it had to be either me. YouTube algorithm bias. For real. For real. Like, I have to imagine that he saw one of the videos. Hopefully one of the ones where I was being very positive. I was so high on him, man. I mean, I'm still high that he could potentially rebound. Holy crap, guys. Here we go. Taylor Scott is on the mound. All right. A 1-1 count. Here he comes. Pitch. Grounder. Altuve picks. Throws to first in time. 4 in a row sent down to start his Astro career for Taylor Scott. Everyone on Twitter. Is Taylor Scott on Twitter? I'm about to send you all with one purpose. I want Taylor Scott. I want him to know that I'm here. Like, I want him to... Oh my god. I want Taylor Scott to know that I love him in a completely normal way. I am... You guys know that... He was... Oh, wait, no, that was when he was, when he made his debut. Does he have a birthday? June 1st, 1992. Look at that. Look at that. He's on Twitter. He's on LinkedIn. Most of what I'm saying is a joke. Please don't harass Taylor Scott. It's so weird. Sometimes it's a beautiful sky, but the roof is closed. It was a nice day. They could have had it opened. Please don't harass Taylor Scott. He doesn't deserve it, but I do like him an awful lot. And, like, the trick is, you've got to like... Now, this guy, I'm telling you what. He's gonna do it. He's got that dog in him, you know? He's got the dog in him. He rocked a 2.45 ERA through spring... He rocked a 3.45 in spring training? Damn. Maybe he does got that dog in him. Like, he's currently rocking a league-leading 0.00 ERA. 0.0... Okay, the walks... Actually, the hits and home run rate are still perfect, so, you know, good for him. He is rocking the triple donut. Austin Wells here. All right, you've grounded out twice. How about making it a third time and making an easy double play so that... the star middle reliever for the Astros, Taylor Scott, gets out of it. That is just such... I know I said it. That's such a good mustache by Austin Wells. He's on Facebook. Oh, he was active today. He was a busy boy today. Dude, look at old Taylor Scott in that flow. Guys, look at the flow he had. How is there a mosquito in my room? Dude, he's got to bring the flow back. Sorry, this is the... Bro, he had the total look going. Like, it's gotta happen. The Yankees would have complained if the roof was open. Hate that you're accurate. Alright, it's fine. It's fine, alright? Scott's got this. Weston has known about Taylor Scott's existence for 2 whole days and already decided that he's the best pitcher in the pen. He is. No, Corona! Come back! That's what he did with Butch Denmarsh. Listen. Listen. It's very important. You're like a crazy girlfriend. Don't phrase it like that. Listen. There's low-hanging fruit with a lot of pitchers, right? Or with a lot of players in general. Like, everyone likes the great guys. And everyone knows about the great ones. Like, everyone knows, even if you're not that familiar with baseball, you know the big hitters. Like, you've heard of Jordan, you've heard of Altuve, you know, around, like, you've heard of Aaron Judge and guys like Nolan Arenado and Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ohtani and Kershaw. And, like, you know the low-hanging fruit. But we ain't talking about the low-hanging fruit. What gets me out of bed are the weird players that have, like, 15 total games at a professional level. Like, no one's getting out of bed because what? You like this Corbin Burns guy? Who cares about that? You know what people care about? When you talk about your deep love, that's a base hit, that might tie the game. McCormick throwing in, no chance. And the game is tied at 1 apiece. Not the fault of Taylor Scott, just so we're clear here. The Astros scoring more than a singular run would be helpful. I'm not letting my guy go down without a fight. No, you gotta score more than 1 run. I mean, on a serious note, he's got pretty solid pitches. Like, I like his mix. You know? His control ain't bad. Got some interesting stuff that he tosses out there. You know, he's a guy. He's a guy. Okay, I wouldn't say Scott Hader, but I would not say that he's better than Josh Hader, but he might be better than Mariano Rivera. Alex, I don't like that you reminded me that I said they'd lose 2-0 or 2-1. I really don't like that. Come on, Scott. The world's counting you down, Scott. It's your time to prove them, 5-0. That's not how you prove it. And Gleyber Torres might be injured. Not ideal. What if he didn't like the way that the showboating Yankee slid into home and he was getting retribution? And Montero's coming. Have they even gone out? Listen. Obviously, you've got to move. Listen, I understand that you got to move at this point away from Taylor Scott. How does your idea become Rafael Montero? Like, I understand the concept of being like, all right, you've got to come out of the game. You've lost a bit of control. Not that that's going to continue for the season. Yeah, don't worry. He's going to be fine. But to go to Montero? Not Montero. Listen, I said it yesterday in the video. If you want to be genuinely, like you genuinely want to talk about using your bullpen the best, why would you not, right now, go to Hader? He struck out the side yesterday. He was warming up, so that's an option, obviously. Like, that's very much an option. You go Hader. Because you want your big star closer who's got total gas. Why wouldn't you go with him? He struck out the side yesterday. You throw him out there because it, like, theoretically right now, it's too soon. Okay, but here's the thing, right? Like, in a perfect world, and the Astros get 2 outs right now. They get a shallow pop-up. He was warming in the pen. He needs rest. He's gonna pitch tonight. Listen. If Hader pitches tonight, which is distinctly possible, pitchers going back-to-back games all the time as relievers. That's what they're doing with Montero. That's clearly in the cards. So you're telling me that we're saving, theoretically, we're saving Josh Hader in the hopes that we can get 2 outs here and then 3 more outs in the next inning, right? Because that would be your best case scenario, is you get a pop-up out of Soto and Judge, and then in the next inning you bring in whoever, and they go 1, 2, 3 on Rizzo, Stanton, and Verdugo. So you're saving the best closer in baseball to come in to face the 3-headed monster of Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells, and Oswaldo Cabrera. That's the logic. Like, that's why I don't love it. Like, you want your big guy to come in when it's relevant. Because if the Yankees blow the game open here, and they make it 4-1, or they make it 3-1, then you're out of the save situation, or you're out of the close the game out situation for Hader. There is a walk, so now it's 2-1. There we go. Like, you're going with the guy that struggled yesterday this is the game, brother. Like, this is it. Like, that's the moment. So you're cool letting Montero, who struggle bust all of last season and yesterday, play the matchup again. That's not a matchup! Wes! That ain't a matchup! Like, okay, so he gets the double play. That's great. That's really great, guys. Here's the problem that you now face. Is you got the double play. So now you're going to have either Presley or whoever come in to face Rizzo, Stanton, and Verdugo. So you've successfully saved, and again, I'm not putting this solely on Espada and the pitching, because 2 runs through 7 innings is really winnable. This is an offensive problem, but we're not setting that aside for a second. You're saving Josh Hader to keep it 2-1 in the 9th? Like, I understand the traditional usage. I mean, it did kind of work. But they gave up the run! Like, yeah, they got the double play. They gave up the run. It's no longer a hold. It's the Astros are in a deficit. They need multiple runs now to win the game. They cannot get 1 run and win the game. They need multiple. Like, we've reached an era. I'm sick of the bullpen being used like it's 1980. Bring your best guy in the important situation. And, like, it's 1 run! That's the thing! I hate that we're talking about this like it's over. It's 1 run! That's nothing! Like, the 2021 and 22 Astros, 1 run? Pfft. Are you kidding me? That's your big bad thing, is 1 run deficit? Get out of here. Get out of here. A run is nothing. Montero is going to have to be that guy. He's not been the guy. He's been that guy. Parker Mashinsky is more. End it. End it. Good. Cool. Great. At the deadline, we need to make moves for the bullpen. Yeah. You're correct. They need to make bullpen moves. Here's the thing. And I don't know if I said it earlier. I definitely meant to. One of the other reasons of why you just kind of have to ride it out with Jose Abreu is because of the other problems. Like, you have such a blindingly obvious need at middle relief and the back end of the rotation. And, like, theoretically, please, God, no. Please be okay. We're 2 games in, the season's already over, and we're gaslighting ourselves into loving Taylor Scott. Just let us have fun, okay? Listen, they always start terrible. They're going to start 12-18. It's what they do. You can't panic. They're going to go on a crazy run at the end of May, and they'll be like 30-19 by game 49. It's what they do. But, and here's the thing that I said last year and the year before that and the year before that and every year that I've made these videos. Because I've faced the criticism of, oh, you're living in the moment. You're living and dying game by game with the Astros, and you can't do that to yourself. And you're freaking out, and it's only game 5, 7, 10, 20, 30. What are you doing? And like, yes, you're correct. It is only game 2. But that's the game that I'm speaking of. No, because I'm giving myself the credit. Like, yeah, it's game 2, and I'm aware of that. I'm not going to talk about a fictional game 45 that hasn't happened yet. Like, the game that I was presented was a bad game. Sorry, I'm going to grab an energy drink before I continue this little mini rant. All right, bucko. I'm back. Like, I have faith that the Astros will, in the long run this season, be fine. And I had that faith last year, and they were a game away from pennant. Say what you will about last season being kind of a disaster. And I don't disagree. And say what you will about, like 2022, I was like, yeah, they're starting off pretty not great, but, they'll be fine. Like, that's the whole thing, is if you go somewhere that normally has really good food, and then you go there one night, and you order, like, a burger, and you say, hey, can I get this burger medium, or medium well, or however you like your burger. I'm usually a medium guy when it comes to burgers. And they go, yep, no problem. And then they walk out with a burger that's still a frozen patty that has never touched a griddle in its life. And the cheese is just a piece of yellow construction paper. You're not going to sit there at the table gnawing on your beef puck and picking the paper out of your mouth, talking about how, well, normally it's pretty good. Like, okay, it isn't currently. That's the thing. And so you get yelled at for living in the moment, but like, a recap of game blank, of insert game, is a recap and or reaction of that game. Like last night, I made my reaction video to game 1 of the season. And here's the thing. I talked about game 1. Why would I talk about a different game when that's the game I am meant to talk about? So, like, this game sucks. It looks like it's going to be another depressing loss. I hope it isn't. I hope Tucker sends one into the stratosphere on this next pitch. And then Bregman does one. And then Parker Mashinsky comes in and just magics his way through 2 innings of relief and picks up a save. That'd be awesome. I would love to talk about that. But like when you're given a bad product and your whole shtick is that you talk about that product, you gotta talk about the bad. And this is usually where the bad is for the Astros. And then they will get better as the season progresses. But until we get there... Like, alternate reality. Could you imagine if I sat here following losses and just was like, here's what I hope. Kyle Tucker, the opposite way. Blah. A little blooper. For base hit, the Astros have 2 runners aboard. All right. Hey, Alex. Would you like $500 million? Hey, Alex Bregman. Would you like $800 million? I will make Shohei Ohtani's contract look like the dime you toss in the fountain at the mall. The lefty matchup really worked wonders. That's such an Aaron Boone move that it's kind of incredible. Who in the... Don't know who that is. What in the heck? Can they do a pitching change? Oh, it's not a pitching change. I'm stupid. Oh, man. I could smoke a brisket. I will give Bregman 2 pretty pennies. Boone is about to galaxy. Galaxy brain moves here by Aaron Boone. Bregman, no. Just got under it and pulled it. Bregman bloops one. Damn it all! Why? That is not a $400 million hit, Bregman. That is like a 20-cent line out. Damn it. Can we get Chris Bassett for Alex Bregman? The Yankees are doing their damnedest to make this inning last 5 years. There's been a pitching change, a mound visit, and another pitching change. Oh, not you, Alex. The other Alex. We're talking about that. We're talking about that. I. It's game 2, guys. Like, can you believe that? It's game 2. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's the second game. I've made one video for this season. I'm going to make, at minimum, like 165 more, because there will probably be a couple trade deadline things. No, I guarantee you it's a John Singleton. That's the thing, right? I guarantee you. I'd bet every dollar I have that it's going to be John Singleton. That they pinch hit. Because we're idiots. Because Galaxy Brain, you want the lefty. Oh, well, it's a lefty for the Yankees, so maybe they won't Galaxy Brain their way through it. If it pans to the plate and it's John Singleton, I'm throwing something. Thank God. Oof. Nah, it's going to be... What? Oh my God. Like, 0-2 now for Abreu. Here we go. It's gonna be a one. Well, at least he didn't strike out there. I mean, granted, that was very much a ball, so, like, good, but... Abreu flies one to Aaron Judge. 1 with 11 with runners in scoring position. Oh my God. Ah! Brothers. It's game 1. Like, that's crazy. 160 more of these. It's over on the couch. You know what I mean? I think you guys will know what I mean when I say this. No, man, the season's over. I don't know what to tell you. Dude. I know that people want to make fun of the Yankees, But, like, Judge, Soto, and Stanton were non-factors. They were non-factors in this game. You held like $1 billion worth of player to in RBI. Like, Judge went 0 for 4. And Rizzo went 0 for 2. And Stanton went 0 for 3. Like, you held him to nothing. And, like, listen, I understand that Scott... It's weird to have a pitcher with 2 first names. I understand that Taylor Scott did not look great in his outing. Can any of the big guys do anything? Judge does not have an RBI. Nor a walk. Are you looking at tonight's score? Alex, I'm not trying to be like a jerk, but oh, it updated. No, Soto does have 2 hits, but only the 1 RBI. And Judge, they're combined, they have 2 hits, an RBI, and a walk, and they're all on Soto's docket. No, that's the thing. Like, Soto's carried. That's it. You have Volpe and Wells with RBIs. Or we're not with RBIs. Like, brother. And then you look at the Astros, and it's business as usual, where the top guys, one of them is relevant. Tonight, Kyle Tucker gets to be the one. But Jordan's 0 for 3 with a walk. Altuve's 1 for 4. You just need something. And then you got Abreu going 0 for 4, which is insane. Like, it's just... Listen. I know it's the recency bias because you're 2 games in. I'm very aware of that. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, oh, they're going to go 0-162 because that's insane. Like, that's not happening, obviously. And I'm not going to be the guy that tries to tell you that and overreact for the sake of overreacting. Look at the middle relief that they have. Like, look at their middle relievers. Where are they getting outs? Where are they getting scoreless innings? And obviously you have the back 3. And I'm still high on them. Like, my opinion on Presley, Abreu, and Hader has not changed. But the middle relief is where I'm talking. You have Seth Martinez, who he's shown promise, and I'm actually I'm a shockingly big Seth Martinez guy. But again, are we really going to put all of our hope and all of our eggs in the Seth Martinez basket? Who last year had a 5.23 ERA. I'm so for real I might do that because that's really funny. But like looking around the pitching staff right now, and I'm not trying to make it be like a doomsday thing, like Parker Mashinsky is a guy. Maybe he gets you through an inning, maybe he doesn't. Seth Martinez is there. You got Belak, Montero. Like, that's the thing. It's the bullpen's going to be the move of the deadline. Like, there's no question about that. That's what they have to do. That's the biggest spot of need. But, like, what are your hopes? Like, it's... The only hope is starters come back and some get pushed to the bullpen. Like, you put Blanco in the pen, I suppose that's your move. So you'd move Blanco, and who else would you do? Like, maybe Brown? Like, I want to see France. I'll say that. I want to see him back. Because I unironically think there's hope. That beautiful, beautiful man can save them. If there's one mustache I can trust, genuine question. And I'm not trying to, like... Again, it's game 2. It's... I just realized how, like, silky that was. It's only game 2. I understand that. I'm not saying to burn it to the... I'm not saying to burn it to the ground. And that it's hopeless. What did the combined money cost for Nearest, Maton, and Stenik? What was their combined money? 1 year, $9 million for Nearest. 1 year, 6.5 for Maton. And Stenik signed a 4-year deal. flubbed play by Altuve on a not great throw. The Yankees take a 3-1 lead. Like, we are good. So, here's the question I give you. That's such a bad... No, I looked up late. That's such a shit play from Pena. Oh my god. What was that? And... what the hell was that? What did he hit? Did Mashinsky hit someone? What happened? What? That wasn't even close. Okay, genuine question. How do pitchers whose job it is to throw a baseball, how is it? And it is 6-1. It is 6-1. This perfectly plays into the thing I was about to bring up. So $6.5 million for Phil Maton. That was the contract he signed. Was a 1-year, $6.5 million contract with the Rays. And then Stanek signed a 1-year, $4 million deal with the Mariners. It's $10.5 million. And then Neris went out and signed a $10 million deal, or a $9 million deal, pardon me, with the Cubs. That's what they did. So a combined $19.5 million. That is what they did. That's what they signed for. And the Astros, in the offseason, went out and paid $19 million per season for Josh Hader. And I'm not... Let me be abundantly clear. I still love Josh Hader. That's a big ticket move. And I'm not saying that Josh Hader is not worth $19 million. The question I'm about to say is Josh Hader worth $19 million to this team? That's the question I have. Because you could have kept, theoretically, you could have kept Maton, Stanek, and Neris for the price of Hader. And that's where the problem arises. And you're seeing it right now. Because it was a 1-0 game. It was a 4-0 game yesterday for the Astros. And then it was... Actually, I'll change it. I'm even going to give a little bit back to Framber Valdez, who I lit into, right? Here's the thing. It was 4-2. The Astros were leading. And then the bullpen entered the game. And they lost 5-4. It was 1-0. The Astros were leading. You get 6 shutout from your starting pitcher. Then your bullpen comes in. The middle relief. And it's 6-1. Hader was unreal yesterday. He looked great. And I think he's gonna be great. But here's the thing. One great thing does not 3 very good things make. And that's the fear that I have right now. Because, like, Hader kept up his end of the bargain yesterday. He had a 3 strikeout 9th inning. Like, statistically speaking, the best inning a pitcher can have. He got 3 strikeouts. Holy Lord. Wait, did Mashinsky record an out? Got an out. Okay, cool. That's fun. That's a ton of fun right there. Anyway, my point being, like, you've got to look at it from a logistic standpoint. That one really, really good inning might not be worth 3 good innings. That's the problem. That's the problem. Because you let 3 innings worth of work go in exchange for 1. And I'm not... Again, I do not want to dislike Hader. I like Hader a lot. He's got the flow. He's got the attitude that's gonna work in Houston. And he's got the stuff, man. And it's gonna be 7-1 probably. Nope, he'll hold it third. You gotta bring you back. Whoopity doo-dah, man. That's so cool. Like, I want Brian Abreu back. That will be good. But again, the problem you face... Mercifully, the inning is over. Mercifully, the inning is over. They're going to phone in the bottom half of the 8th and 9th. They're going to go 1-2-3, 1-2-3. Brother, man. Bad vibes. Just bad vibes. I know they made the comeback against Chad Green, but Chad Green ain't here. Judge has done basically nothing. He's 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Like, that's the hardest part, is they held Judge to little and nothing. They held Rizzo to a hit. Giancarlo went 0 for 4. Like, they did good. But it's not enough. And then here's the other thing for me that I'm going to put out there. Typical. Yeah. No, like, here's the other part of the equation. Dana Brown had better not be thinking, okay, well, I know what I have to do with that. No. You need to do this tomorrow morning. I'm sorry. You need to figure it out this week. Like, and I know that's not the way baseball works. The middle of your bullpen is unusable. And I don't mean subpar. I mean, like, I don't trust them to get through an inning without surrendering multiple runs. Like, you have got to go make a move. Because I would greatly prefer the Astros not spend another season like, this is what it all but they didn't they spent all of last season trying to get above water. They were drowning for the first 2 months. And then they finally started to look like a competent team in June and July. But they were just kicking their feet and waving their arms around, trying desperately to stay just slightly above water. And like, they can't do it again. They cannot do it again. And I don't want... Here's the other thing, and I'll throw this out there. I don't know that with this team, like, with the way the bullpen is constructed, okay, but also Dana Brown can only do so much with what Crane gives him. You call him in the morning and say, hey, window doesn't close, huh? All right, who are we going and getting? That's the entire conversation. Like, last season, you go... Like, last year, the bullpen was significantly better than this year. And I understand the last 3 are better. I'm not arguing that. Like, yeah, I'll take Presley, Abreu, and Hader over Presley, Abreu, and either Stanek or Nearest. I'm gonna take these 3. But the bullpen is large. If you go in a different direction, and you ask me what I want, sorry, I was trying to read a couple things. Like, if you give that comparison with the last three, like, yeah, it's pretty comparable. But if you go into the point of, like, all right, do you want Maton, Neris, and Stenik, or Mushinsky, Montero, and whoever? It's like it's last year's team. Last year's team was better. There's no way around it. Like, last year's team was able to suck and barely stay above water. Also, Pena, what in the hell was that? You strike out and you start walking back to the dugout? Run to first. Run to first. Run. That's insane. That's actually insane. Pena, I've been happy with you to this point. You're down 5 runs. We desperately need runners. You... Run! Ah! Like... Bro. Like, that's the worst part of it, is they've been outcoached, and Boone has not been good. Like, Boone's been bad. He's made bad decisions for the Yankees. But what? No, because Pena struck out on the dropped strike 3. And Diaz was running. So he could have. No, Alex, I get what you're saying, that, like, but no, it was a drop strike 3 and you can advance. Because Diaz advanced and Pena just waddled back to the dugout. Like, here's the thing. I'm willing to give a team the hangover. It's 2 games in. They're still making the playoffs. We're not going down that road yet. But the Astros are done being gifted the playoffs. It's done being the prerequisite. That's where they're at. Alex, you might have actually just taught me something new about baseball. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's actually impressive. I did not know that at all. So I will rescind my Pena thing, if that's true. And I will take your word for it. You've been very good on this. So I'm inclined to believe you're correct. Like, I still believe that they are going to make the playoffs. That's not the conversation we're having. That's a piss missile. That's a home run. It's 7-1 now. Anyway, back to this. Like, they're still going to be fine. In the long run, I think they have a team that can make the playoffs. Because I think overall, if the offense actually gave a damn, they could outscore some of their problems. And the pitching's going to get healthier. They've got to go out. Stanton. The hitting coach should absolutely be questioned. The entire staff has got to be questioned. No, like, that's the thing. Everyone on this team. Is it not Omar Lopez? No, it wasn't any of us. Cintron. Everyone's got to be questioned. Like, that's the takeaway that I have right now. Is we are done with the prerequisite being they're going to coast their way to the playoffs. No. You know what every other team has to go do? Earn it. They've got to go work. They've got to go try. Like, they've got to go fight for it. They've got to go play their hearts out. Go try. That's the biggest thing. You're no longer just promised the postseason. You've got to go show me that you give a damn. Because a lot of people were safe. A lot of players were safe. A lot of coaches were safe. Everyone was good because they were coming off of a World Series year in 2022. And so last season, we're all willing to give them the whole, well, it's a World Series hangover thing. What are you going to do about it? It happens. And we're fine with it. I was fine with it. And there's an extra base hit. That'll be off the wall. They don't care. They don't care. They do not care. Like, not even a little bit. They have accepted that the game was over, and they... Bro. I'm looking up something genuine. I think Josh Hader might be the only Astros relief pitcher this season to not give up a base runner. Everyone else has given up a base runner. The Astros have had one clean inning. One clean inning from their bullpen. That's insane. That's insane. Like, here's the thing that concerns me. Is who is dad? Josh, I really like you. You had a really good inning yesterday. Do not smile right now. I'm sorry, bud. Don't even crack a grin. No. No. No, I'm sorry. You don't get to do that right now. Like, I'm happy that whatever joke Seth Martinez told you was funny, and I'm happy that you're having a good time right now. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare even crack a grin on that bench right now. I'm sorry, bud. I'm really sorry. No. No. Like, I'm not one of the old heads that's like, oh, you can't find any enjoyment if you're not having success on the field. This is one of those moments that you can't actually show that you care. You've got to look at least like, well, this isn't great. You can't be over there looking giddy. And no, that's the point I was about to make. And like, don't get me wrong. I can't believe I'm about to make this point. I really, 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 really can't. The Astros don't have a dad. They don't have daddy. Who on this roster tonight, who? Name the player who is going to go into the locker room following this game and light into him. Like, what player is going to walk into the locker room following this embarrassment of a start to the season and scream at the guys? Abreu hasn't been here long enough to do anything, like, to gain the respect to be able to do that. Altuve is not the guy to do it. He never has been. He is a lead-by-example player, and it's not him. It's not going to be Pena because he's a toddler. Bregman is too vibe-based and isn't going to do it. Jordan isn't going to do it. Tucker is not the guy. Myers is a literal toddler and only started being good yesterday. McCormick is not the guy. Diaz got named the starter 2 days ago. And then in the pitching staff, like, you think Fromber's going to do it? You think Javier's going to have his big moment tonight where he lays into him? No! You think Parker Mushinski is going to tell them to gather around and get their shit together? Like, I'm not Presley. Maybe. Do we think Presley's going to do it? Like, who on this roster is going to walk into the room? Here's the thing. I think Lance has the best possibility of being the guy that could get away with it. Because, like, he's kind of been that before. He hasn't pitched in a year and a half. Like, that's the thing. I would love for McCullers to do it. Can he? Like, he has the love of the fan base, and I think the locker room likes him. But if McCullers, who hasn't pitched since Game 3 of the 2022 World Series, walks into the locker room and starts tearing them apart, is it heard by anyone, or do they think this guy's full of shit? What's the thought from that? It's not a prerequisite anymore. You have been the toast of the league for a long time. You don't get that good by accident. You don't. And I'm not saying they did. They were unbelievably great. And they still have the bones of a elite team. They really do. Like, you put their big hitters up against anyone else and they're comparable. You put most of the pitchers, they're comparable. Who is the yelly screamy man? Ground ball double play, cool. That was really fun for a split second. Like, what? What? You're calling that a double play? Are we free? Almost caught me, but I stopped myself. Are we so for real right now? We're calling that an out. Oh my god. Like, useless. Useless. You're useless. Bro. He did. No, you're right. He did. No, he definitely made that move. I'm just like, I'm kind of... The freaking wop wop. I can't even be mad. That's such perfect timing. Damn it. No, that's his fault. That's so good timing. I hate you. Dude. Like, listen. I don't want them looking outwardly upset following game 2. Because that kind of gives off the act like you've been there before energy. What I am going to say is the interviews tonight need to be very simple, which is when the media asks them, hey, how's that feel? They need to just go, we're going to handle it in the locker room. And in the locker room, somebody, I don't know who the hell it's going to be, so we need to print that wop wop out and send it to the locker room. Just the screen grab. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Because no, Josh Hader doesn't deserve it because Josh Hader's been good in his whole one game. Goofy toaster looking headphones. Fellas, I think I'm about to go cook. I'm hoping I don't burn the water. But I kind of see some red mist right now, so that's distinctly possible. Like this. I feel like I need to rein it in and keep it pretty concise on just... No, he did not. No, he did not cook with the bullpen. I feel like I need to keep it concise and just keep it to the bullpen disaster. And the fact that they have no daddy in the locker room. Can't forget about the anemic offense. But that's like a... For this game, I'll just point out the fact that the offense sucked. But as a whole, it's the fact that the bullpen is a unmitigated disaster. And who on this roster is going to walk into the locker room and actually rip them to shreds? And you don't have dad. You don't have a dad. All right. I'm getting up at 7 in the morning. I gotta go cook. So thank you guys for coming out and watching this. That was awesome of you all. I genuinely appreciate it. It's always fun watching with you guys. Even when the game sucks like this, it's fun. So I'm going to go record a video, and we're going to see how it goes. Maybe it goes well. No more streams till the postseason. Bye. Nah, honestly. Okay, here's the thing. If they win every game between now and Friday, so if they go on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if they go on like a 6-game winning streak, I don't think I can stream again until the playoffs. Like, I just don't think I can, honestly. I'd like to make it a weekly thing, but like, dude, I can't run that risk of disasters like this. So, until then, thank you guys for watching. Hope you all have a great night. Hope you all tune in for the reaction video in a little bit. We're going to see how that goes. But until then... The greatest rants of 20... Perfect.